Hey, Zach here. Before we dive in, we just wanted to address a few mistakes we've made. If you didn't already know, we are longtime D&D players. This was originally going to be a 5e podcast, but we were so excited by the Pathfinder system and community, we decided to make a switch at the last minute. Unfortunately, we didn't have any past experience with Pathfinder, which has led to a few mistakes regarding rules. While we don't feel these mistakes altered the outcome of events in a significant way, we just wanted our listeners to know we are always working to improve and absolutely love the Pathfinder system. Thank you so much for sticking with us and welcoming us into the Pathfinder community. All right, let's get to it. Hello, and welcome back to Mortals and Portals, a Pathfinder Real Play podcast. I am your host and GM, Zach, and as always, joining me at the table is...
Adam, and I play Jules, an Azarketi Bard.
I'm Joel, and I play Dax, a Kobold Rogue.
Ryan, I am Ryu, a Tiefling Magus.
Taryn, and I play Waltz, a human champion.
All right, well, last time, our party of heroes got themselves in a scuffle with the Drake Knights once again, only this time there was a lot more Drake Knights, and an especially formidable Drake Knight known as Commander Krim, who had Edwin as a hostage and was threatening to cut off his fingers if the party didn't appear before him. And guess what? They didn't all acquiesce to his demands, and they came up with a few schemes that kind of went south, sort of worked. I don't know. It all kind of worked out in the end. You're all fighting them now, basically, and Dax is in command of a gigantic crossbow with a force field around it and is absolutely obliterating Drake Knights, and that caught the attention of Commander Krim, so he summoned Raygorn, a drake who emerged from the sea and is now flying towards you guys, specifically Dax at the command of Commander Krim. And yeah, that's where we're at right now. So let's dive right in, starting with the drake, who emerged from the water and is soaring towards Dax. He flies at full speed and starts to swoop by the tower, and he starts to act like he's about to regurgitate, almost like he's choking on something, and then opens his wide jaw and hurls up a molt of acidic liquid that fires from him towards your force field.
Oh god, oh god, oh god.
Do you even attempt to dodge this, or do you trust in the force field?
I will definitely, put my hands over my head, but I mean, where am I going to go? So no, not really. I mean,
okay.
It's more reactionary than anything.
Yeah, so you just kind of raise your hands above your head, and this green, disgusting-looking liquid, almost mucus-like, hits the force field, and you see it it's almost like you're looking through a window at a car wash sort of thing, where just all these colors spill over it and then start sliding down, and then the force field starts to tremor and spasm almost like a strobe light, and then as all the acid slides down, the force field dissipates and goes away, and then the acid drips down the walls of the tower. So the force field protected you, but it looks as though it used up all of its energy, and it lets out another roar and starts to swoop around almost like it's preparing for another run towards you. And that'll take us to Waltz, who is in a fist fight with his nemesis elf man. You can ask him his name if you want.
I'm going to use one of my feats, which is Ever Stand stance, and I'm going to switch into a stance holding my shield with both hands. I'm going to take it, and I'm going to swing and try and shield bash him with both hands.
Wait, why did we take your shield?
Is it just a regular strength check for my damage roll?
Yeah, I imagine, yeah. Unless it says otherwise.
I got a 7.
Okay, so he notices you have the shield, and you go to swing it, and he runs up and grabs it before you can get a lot of strength behind it, and just starts pushing you back, and then pushes himself away from you, and now you're just holding the shield again.
Okay, can I interrupt that, and when he grabs the shield and kind of takes his way into it, just kind of give him the shield and throw him off me?
Yeah, so you want to just do a push, try and knock him down?
Yeah, exactly, and then because that'll be my second, and then I'll have one more I can do, right? So I'll do that, and I want to beeline it for the horses.
Okay, yeah, so roll a strength check.
12.
That's not enough. So yeah, you go to push, and he digs his heels in and kind of slides through the mud. You do have one more action if you want to try and push him again.
Can I just like use his weight and let go of the shield? I'm just trying to create some type of space somehow, like so whenever it would make sense for Waltz, he's understanding that he is just trying.
Oh yeah,
to
you could
create a
definitely
little
let
bit of
go and
space.
just start running if that's what you want to do.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so you push, realize you can't get it, you just let go. You now do not have a shield or a sword, and you're just going to start running. He's going to try and do an attack of opportunity on you. So he just swings the shield back at you and tries to hit you, and you duck underneath that, and it goes over your head, and then you just start running towards the horses.
Sweet.
And that is the end of your turn. He goes, "Coward! I'm gonna beat you up! I'm gonna get you!" And then that'll take us to one of the goons who is... Oh wait, that goon is dead. Okay. The other goon that was up on the rooftop that just witnessed his friend get split in half, and he saw the shield shimmer, and he goes, "Here's my chance." And he loads the arrows, and he's gonna start firing at Dax. Completely misses. Gonna take a second shot and misses again. So Dax, you see these arrows coming at you, and you kind of duck behind the huge crossbow, and they clank off the bow of it, and then one sails over your head. And that's the end of his turn, and that'll take us to the goon that's running up to Jules. So Jules, he runs up to you, pulls out his sword, raises it above his head, and he's gonna take a swing at you.
Good luck.
And Jules, roll me a percentage die.
46.
Yeah, so he runs up. So he nat 1'd. So I was rolling a percentage die to see how crazy of an effect you get.
Nice.
So he runs up, and he has a sword way above his head. He completely telegraphs it. You're just looking at Commander Krim. He catches your attention last second, and you just stick your foot out and trip him. And he's going to go past you by 5 feet and be knocked prone. But he holds onto his sword and doesn't like fall on it or anything. So you trip him, and he's now knocked prone next to you.
If he like killed himself like the guys that fell off the cliff, Commander Krim would just be like, "Why are all my guys killing themselves?
We need more training." Yeah. So he just falls over. So that was his turn. So he ran, tried to attack, and then fell.
Excuse me.
Oh gosh! And that'll take us to the goon that is closest to Ryu, who is just in like a Duel of the Fates type battle right now with Ryu. They're clashing swords. And then he is going to swing his sword at you. And does an 18 hit you?
Ah, it's my AC.
No. And he does 5 damage.
Sweet, but it's 4 since I've got my arcane cascade going.
Nice. He goes, "What? That's a cheap spell." And then he's going to swing his second attack at you. And with the modifier, 17 does not hit you, does it?
No, sir.
Okay, yeah, so he swings it. You do like a Vegeta type thing where since you have that arcane cascade and extra hit points, it cuts you and you kind of like wipe the blood. And you just look at him with a grin and he's like, "Ugh." And then he swings again and then you block it. And that'll be the end of his turn. He's not going to try a third attack or move. And that'll take
Your
us...
strikes, I barely feel them.
And that'll take us to the one that Waltz just ran away from. So he is going to run up behind you. So he uses action and get right behind you. And he's going to just start trying to punch you in the back of the head. Where are you
Is he
going?
faster than me though? I'm way faster than him, though,
What's
right?
your speed? 30?
I don't know, probably like 20,000.
Oh,
Where
wait,
do I
his
see my
speed, his speed is 25, actually. What is your speed?
Mine is also 25.
Oh, okay, so he does catch up to you. Hey,
But he's got more weight because he doesn't get to use his arms because he just grabbed my shield, right?
No.
Good try.
Otherwise,
You could run the same
anytime you
speed.
guys have a sword and a shield, I'll be like, you actually run slower than your speed. So he catches up to you. He's going to lift the shield above his head and try and hit it on the back of your head like a pan.
This is great.
And he completely misses. And he's going to just like let out like kind of a frustrated scream, like, "Ah!" Like he's getting mad and swinging again and completely miss. So you're just like, you keep kind of getting out of the way, maybe absorbing it with your chainmail a bit. And he goes, "Where are you going? Let's settle this." And that'll take us to, I don't know which goon this is.
He's probably a dead one.
I don't think he's a dead goon.
Most of them
probably
were
killed him.
blasted by crossbows.
He's one of the other ones that was running around trying to find people. So he's just, I'll decide where he is now. You don't see him, but he's out running around. Where are they?
He's doing
Digsby
something.
took him out.
Yeah. Who is that?
He's in a
Apples?
western
What the-
with Digsby.
You came into the wrong general store, you freak. Blinds close. Oh, no.
How about them apples?
How you like them apples, you son of a... All right. That'll take us to Commander Krim, who is grinning ear to ear, his toothy rat grin, seeing Raygorn tearing through the skies, and he is gonna shove Edwin to the ground. He goes, ugh, and he pushes him over, and then he pulls out his sword, and he starts running into the battle towards Jules. So he's gonna run towards you and then stop with a 5-foot gap, so I guess 10 feet away from you, and stop and spin his sword around and say, let's see if you're as good with that trident as you are with your spells. What do you say?
I'll take my trident and do like a little flip with it as I say, do that.
So you're just kind of in a standoff with him now, and that'll take us to Dax.
All right.
Your shield is gone, acid is running down the side of the tower, and the Drake seems to be gearing up for another run at you.
I'm feeling kind of desperate at this point with no defenses. That acid is obviously very intense. So I'll train my sights on the Drake and let loose another bolt, I suppose.
Cool. Yeah, so you pull back the lever, cock it, magazine loads another bolt in, and you aim the iron sights, and you just see a Drake coming straight at you through these crosshairs. Let her rip. Part 2.
Oh no, it's a 13.
Ooh, all right. So your heart is pounding in your chest. You see a Drake coming straight at you. Your shield's gone. You let the arrow fire. It looks like it's going right at it. You're like, come on, come on. You're gripping the handles tight. And then at the last second, the Drake banks out of the way and the arrow sails just past it, and then it levels back out. You pull the lever back, load another bolt, and that's the end of your turn. That'll take us to Ryu. This is the battle of his life.
I love my turn. I realized before when I used my spell strike, I was supposed to, on my next turn, have recharged it, taken an action to do that. So sorry to anybody listening who's yelling at me for cheating.
That's
I promise
you're
I'll
out.
do it.
Some guy's
Yeah,
angrily typing on his keyboard right now, like,
Yeah.
oh, that's not how you play. He
Sorry,
sounds like
ahead of
Bigsby,
time.
I guess.
Yeah. So I'll start my turn by recharging my spell strike then, only to use it again right away.
Heck
And
yeah.
try and hit this guy for real this time. So after he strikes me, I'm gonna play it off like it's nothing. Say my line about how your strikes, they do nothing to me, and then I'll kind of spit to the side. Then I'm gonna take a deep breath and breathe out as I recharge my spell strike. And then the wind around me gonna start flooding around as I am beginning to surge my aura as I'm getting more and more ill-tempered with how long this battle with this goon is taking. And then I'm going to swing my weapon at him with a spell strike. Yeah, I think that's a 24. 24.
That hits.
Thank you. So with spell strike, I don't think I did a good job of explaining this before, but basically it lets me put a spell into my melee attack, so I get to do the damage of the spell as well as the melee attack. So I'll end up rolling for both here, yeah. So my weapon damage to start will be 8, and then the spell that I'm using is Gouging Claw. So I'm kind of envisioning this as I strike with my blade, my aura makes these ethereal waves that end up as 3 kind of claw slashes across his body. So I'll do the damage for that as well. I get to choose between slashing or piercing damage for that. I don't totally know if it matters, so I'll just say slashing.
Yeah. Just so everyone knows, it would only matter if sometimes things have certain resistances to certain damage types. So if somehow your character had insight onto which ones they're resistance to, you would pick a different one.
And then I add my spellcasting ability modifier to that, so 5 plus 5 is 10, plus the attack from my weapon ends up being 18 damage total.
Holy cow. Do you want, since you had such a tough time with this guy, do you want to describe how you finish him in one landed strike?
I really, really do. After I spit to the side, I'll say, this is taking too much time. And then I'll surge my aura a little bit, blast just a little bit of it around me. My hair starts fluttering around, and with one solid strike, I go, Tura! And then I'll slash across his body as those 3 waves of aura just split him into 3 separate lines, not totally like going through his body, but kind of leaving him filleted a little bit.
Ooh, disgusting.
Yeah.
Bigsby, are you there?
He's looking out the window of the general store.
That's disgusting.
But also cool. Good job, Ryu. I'll promote you over Dax now.
Waltz, did you see that? And I turned to look where he was, and then I just see his aura running off in the distance.
That'll take us to Jules.
Yeah, so I took my trident and I flipped it around and I said, "Do let's." And as I say that, I'm going to cast Magic Weapon. The aura of my magic weapon kind of looks like ocean mist, like a tealish, misty magic aura.
Beautiful.
Then I will attack him with said trident.
Nice.
23.
That hits.
Ryu senses your aura spreading out around you and is impressed at your ability to do the same thing as he.
Senses that anime key.
This
Does.
power is growing.
6 Damaggio, which is
Nice.
Italian for 6 damage.
Oh, okay.
For those
I was
that
very
don't
confused.
speak
Okay.
Italian.
Like you. So this is like a magical weapon attack with your trident.
Yeah.
So you kind of like spin it over your head, almost like a Darth Maul type spin, and then bring it down with a very precise movement across his chest and slash, and you see it kind of separate some of his leather scale armor, and you kind of see it draw some blood from underneath.
And I
he
smile.
just looks down at it slowly and then looks back up and smirks.
I smirk back.
Ooh, smirk off.
Smirk
Nice.
off! What do you roll for that?
I guess that'd be a demoralized, but nobody's attempting that right now. Is that the end of your turn?
Yeah.
So that brings us to the Drake, which
dun,
is
dun.
barreling towards Dax at the moment. Dax, can you roll me a knowledge check plus your level?
That is a natural 20.
No.
Nice.
Nice.
Okay, so you see this thing
I
barreling
know
towards you.
everything about Drakes, my man.
Dump that lore.
So you see this thing barreling towards you, and you're starting to get worried that it's going to hit you with its breath weapon again. And then all your knowledge of dragons kind of floods through your mind, and you know that drakes certainly are not more powerful than dragons in any facet, but they pull a ton of traits from dragons. And you know that dragons, they cannot simply spam their breath weapon, they must recharge it. So you know
Sure.
that at the very least, neither can this drake, because again, it's not more powerful than a dragon. So you realize that it's not going to bank back towards you and hit you with the breath weapon, so you gain a little bit more confidence, but it is going to do a flyover for you with its claws outwards, an attempt to get you with its claws. Does an 18 hit you?
That matches my AC, so I guess so.
So yes, it does. So you feel confident about that, but then at the last moment, as it was doing a speed that you felt like you had a good gauge on, it pins its wings back and gains even more speed and closes the distance even faster than you expected, lifts up its claws, and they scrape across your chest and deal 10 damage to you. And then it soars past you and then looks like it's gearing up for another turnaround. And that'll take us to Waltz.
Okay, so the guy behind me that just like swung my own shield at me, I want to try and disarm him using my disarm ability, which is an athletics check.
Okay.
And I got a 26.
That definitely beats it. So yeah, he's like got the shield above his head and he's going to swing, but you like turn around and then just punch him like right in the elbow real quick, and it just sends the shield like flying through the air. And he's like, oh, and you have disarmed him.
Sweet. So I will try and catch it and then attack him with it.
What? Okay, dude.
Get this
roll
man
a-
a shield.
Roll a reflex saving. Good job, Ryan. Ryan, I feel like that's one of the things I normally wouldn't have caught in real time, and then I'd hear it on the recording, but I caught it.
Yeah.
Just so you know, everyone, episode 2, Ryan says that we should call fan art fart for short. Did not hear it in real time. Makes me laugh every single time because it's so quiet. We can call it fart for short.
For my for my reflex check, I got 23. Sorry, I got a 19 twice in a row. Really excited about it.
All right, that's actually awesome, dude. So yeah, you punch it, flies through the air, and then you catch it.
And then I'll hit my attack roll.
Yeah, roll into an attack.
Look how excited he is. His little smile.
Yeah.
Well, he was
dude.
spilling cabbage in the last session, so he's like, dude, now I'm going to do this awesome takedown.
Okay, let's see if I can get something decent. Yes,
My cabbages.
Okay. 16 plus 4, non-nat 20. Dirty 20, as you guys say.
You
Dirty
hit.
20.
Roll a d4 plus your strength.
Man, this is the greatest thing of my entire life so far. 3 plus strength 7.
How do you finish this man with your shield? Do you kill him, knock him out? It's all yours.
So I picture the whole encounter. How I think of it is he like swings, and as I'm somersaulting forward, I like grab it behind me and take it out of his hands. And then as I roll back onto my feet, I turn around, swing my hips around, and like uppercut him with the shield. and
Nice.
just like deck him off the ground. He kind of does like a backflop in the air onto the ground. If
That's
if
awesome.
I can
Do
explain
you
it that
bash
way.
him in his already double broken nose?
Yeah. more in like his chin now. I just want to catch him in the
Oh,
chin.
okay.
So you just see his like neck and whole spine snap back.
Cool. Did you want to knock him out or kill him?
Just knock him out.
All right. I feel like the way you described that is definitely a kill, but I love it. He's knocked out. This guy will never die. He's gonna chase you across
gonna
all
be
of Keldora,
perpetually,
planet
like,
to planet.
We're
More
gonna
and
be
more
friends
injured.
eventually. Every like
Friends eventually.
eventually we can be
I'm gonna buy him a
friends.
drink at a tavern one of these days.
He's just gonna look at me exhausted, and we're just gonna be like, "Hey, cheers, man!" Like, how
Okay.
you been, dude?
Walt is going to think they're friends, and he's just going to be so terrified that he'll do whatever Walt says.
Yes, absolutely.
He's just gonna keep being the only guy who survives and end up commander by default.
Yeah. Yeah, all right. Yeah, so you knock this guy out completely.
Okay, awesome. I think that's all 3 of my turns.
Yep,
So,
that's
That was a good turn.
That was
that was
awesome.
a fun
Great
one.
turn.
That was super
I'm
cool.
so glad 2 19s and a 16. Like finally they strung together.
You deserve it,
in a
man.
manner that was thanks, dude.
You're a
The
hard
dice
hard
tell
for
their
this.
own
that
tales
was
sometimes.
fun. Yeah, they do.
That's why we play, man. That's what we play for. All right. That takes us to the goon that ran up to Jules. But Commander Krim showed up, and Commander Krim gestures him away. He goes, "Find someone else to kill. This one's mine." And he does a nod and turns around and is going to search the battlefield. And he sees Waltz, who is the closest to him. And he is going to sprint up to Waltz and attempt to attack him with a sword. Does 17 hit you, Waltz?
No, 18.
Nice. So you do that super cool takedown, you're pretty satisfied. Then you turn around back towards the stables just in time to see a sword coming at you, and you like raise that same shield and it clanks off that shield.
Nice.
And you have another goon in front of you now, and that is the end of his turn. And that'll bring us to the mystery one that's been running around. And
Oh, no.
he is going to come out of nowhere and sprint up to Ryu, who just bested his foe, and swing his sword at him. And I don't think a 13 hits you,
Does not.
and neither does whatever that super low roll is. So, yeah, you do that awesome takedown. That guy is just cut into like thirds, but still whole and like looks absolutely mangled. And you're almost relishing in your sweet takedown. But then you snap to and see another man running up to you, and you go, "Here we go again," and raise your sword up, block 2 sword strikes. You're locked in new combat with a new foe.
Shame for you.
And that'll take us to Commander Krim. And so you just drew blood from him, and he looks at you and says, "I really hope that's not the best you can do." And he will swing his sword. Ooh, that definitely hits you, man. Does a 22 hit you?
Just barely.
And he does 7 damage.
All right.
And he's going to swing a second sword strike. Adam, hey man, you know I love you, right?
Does he nat 20?
He nat 20.
Oh, my
Oh
gosh.
no!
All right, we'll see you later.
I guess. Oh, wait, that's a bad roll. And
I think
that's a
things
bad
are
roll.
about to get tough here.
6 damage. He rolled a 1 and a 2.
Wow, that's
You guys.
Oh, wait, I gotta add the modifier twice. Sorry.
It doesn't matter.
Oh, you're down?
Yep.
it. Kind of matters if you go negative.
I don't
I
think
guess that
matters,
might be a
actually.
D&D
Yeah.
rule. That might not be
Yeah,
for Pathfinder.
doesn't matter in here. Okay, so he swings his sword up you, cuts you across the chest. You drop to a knee. Jules, like kind of as you're fading out, you realize this guy is insanely powerful because you've knocked a lot of good hits on him, and you kind of start seeing fade to black as you're just looking at his boots, and you catch like one last smirk of his as you kind of peel over. And that'll bring us to Dax. Hey, good on you, Adam, for taking on Commander Krim. Jules is the man.
After just taking the claws to the chest, I'm feeling pretty roughed up, and I'll watch the Drake fly out and bank left. Oh, come on, show yourself. Get in better position. Come on. And then I will let loose another bolt at it once it is a little bit, as it's kind of banking around. Line up a good shot and let loose an arrow.
Do it.
Come on. 16.
That hits.
Yeah.
Nice.
Let's go. We needed that.
24 damage.
Whoa. Sweet, dude.
I don't know how much health he has, so I don't know if
He
I
had
should
5.
be impressed.
So he's banking back around, squares up with you again. You line him up in your sights, and you anticipate the bank he did last time. So you actually offset your aim, fire the shot, and then it sees that you fired and tries to do the same banking maneuver, and you clip it right in its shoulder, like where the wing joins with its chest piece, and it lets out a big wail and flutters a bit in its flight, and you see a bunch of green blood spill out of it and kind of rain across the battlefield. It hits Ryu and Waltz and just kind of paints everybody, but he's still in flight. Do you load up?
Yeah, I'll just load up another one. Oh, come on, do it again.
Cut to Ryu. Your turn, my man.
So I want my block for his sword attacks to have just been me not even turning around and just taking my big sword and like kind of like holding it behind my back as he like tries a couple strikes against it. And I'm gonna switch things up a little bit this round, and I'm just gonna like turn towards him slightly, like just my head peering over my shoulder as I like look deep into his aura. I'm gonna attempt to demoralize him.
Do it.
Does a 16 do anything?
It does. You've demoralized
Nice.
him. He is frightened for a round, so he takes
Okay,
a status penalty to everything.
So that just means like all his like saves and stuff or whatever are.
His AC, everything.
Reduced?
Yeah, it's a major debuff.
That's perfect. I'm now going to use a cantrip called Gale Blast, and still without even fully turning around, I'm still just like peering into his aura with my senses, and I'm just going to blast my aura out 5 feet around me.
So much
And
aura going on. Just
Aura
auras
is what I'm all
everywhere. Aura galore.
Yeah, I need a different anime name. There's
Maybe that
already
should be the episode
key.
name. Aura galore.
There's already
Aura
there's already
Borealis.
spirit, energy,
Mhm.
spirit. So each creature in the area takes bludgeoning damage equal to my spell casting ability modifier with a fortitude save.
If they critically fail, does anything specific happen?
Yes. So failure, they get pushed 5 feet away. Critical failed, they take double damage and get pushed 10 feet away.
Okay, he regular failed, so he's going to take damage and get pushed 5 feet.
Yep.
Okay, so how much damage?
Equal to my spell casting modifier plus 2. So 7 damage.
Dang, really? That's insane. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you blast out your aura. He like raises his fists up anime, like crossed arms anime style, to try and block your aura blast, and it sends him flying backwards. His feet leave trails in the dirt as he slides backwards, and the
Nice.
power does damage to him, bludgeoning damage as he gets bludgeoned with this aura blast.
And you did his
Awesome.
reduction for being frightened, right?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
That's
cool,
actually why he failed, so that actually worked.
cool. Oh, perfect. Nice.
So, this is the first time we've had somebody downed. It is Jules' turn. And we're all D&D players here. So this is actually different. So in Pathfinder, you have what's called a dying condition. So Jules, you're in dying 1. If you
Uh-oh.
hit dying 4, you fail. So the first time you go down in a day, you are in dying 1. But if you go down again, and later in the day, you're gonna be dying 2, and so on. So you can only be downed 3 times in one day. Otherwise, you're just going to straight up die. So just know that.
Wow.
There's a
Alright,
little
dang.
more subtlety to that, but it's not really relevant right now. But because there's other ways you can recover that, I think, but not relevant at the moment. So the check you need to beat in D&D, it was like if you roll a 10 or higher, no matter what, that's a success. In Pathfinder, you need to roll a flat check that beats 10 plus your dying condition. So you actually need to hit 11. But if you fail to hit 11 and go into dying 2, the next time you roll it, you need to hit 12. Does that make sense? So
Yeah.
Pathfinder's mean, and they actually make it harder to succeed at this. So that's the situation you're in. So,
Wish me luck.
Jules, roll a recovery check.
That is a 16.
Yeah.
So that is a regular success. So your dying value is reduced by 1. So you're up. So you did it. So
Good job.
Yeah, that was cool. That was pretty anticlimactic.
Way to
But-
not die.
But it's a sliding scale of so he could add to it, subtract to it, add to it. Like in D&D, it's just
So,
there's only
dang.
I think but within 5 rolls every time you're gonna figure out if you lived or died. In Pathfinder, you could technically be stuck on the slider for eternity. You could just go back and forth.
and as he keeps failing, it keeps getting harder to succeed.
Yeah. So the next time, if you get downed again in this combat, you're gonna be in dying 2. So yeah, so that was a success. So that puts you at, you lose your dying condition, but that just makes you stable. So you're at 0 hit points. So you can't stand up or join the fight again until you receive some sort of healing, but you're
What?
no longer in danger of dying.
Jules.
That's okay.
So you kind of roll over maybe and see Commander Krim walking away and maybe want to muster strength to go after him, but you feel just this tremendous pain in your body.
I'll reach a hand towards Edwin and then just collapse.
All right, and that'll take us to the Drake, which is angrily flying back at Dax, who just shot him. And Dax, you see him charge up his breath weapon and
Come to Papa.
unleash it. But you prepare to do this reflex save and everything, and then you suddenly don't feel any acid rain over you. You notice the shot wasn't at you, and you stand up somewhat confused and realize that the Drake fired its acid again just directly at the tower, and you start to feel the tower tremble and shake beneath you, and it continues
Clever girl.
flying, but this
I was
time
literally just thinking that same line.
and now the Drake banks and turns towards Waltz and Ryu's direction, and that'll cut us over to Waltz.
So how far am I away from the horses?
Your speed was 30, correct?
25.
Okay, then you're 25 feet, because you were 50 and you only ever made it one move action.
Okay, so I will use my first action to sprint the rest of the way to the horses.
Okay.
From there, is there anything, I guess, like a passive perception that I would just notice of the battlefield? I guess I'm just trying to get a better layout of where everything is going on around me.
Yeah. Did you want to roll a perception check then? To, like, notice everything that went on with Jules, because now he's, like, prone and maybe, like, you can't see him as easily and stuff like that.
Okay, I'll roll perception.
So that's like a thing in D&D where it's just you would have to just let everyone know everything because no one wants to spend a whole turn using their only action for perception. But in Pathfinder, they make it like an actual mechanic since you have 3 actions. So I would totally encourage doing that.
I rolled a 13, so I get to the horses, and I guess I'm just trying to like scan to see what all I notice.
Cool. Yeah, so you get to the horses, you grab the reins, and the horse seems a little spooked, but it obviously knows you because you guys were in the wagon with it a lot. And you look over and see Commander Krim with his eyes dead set on Ryu, walking towards him, looking confident. And you knew that Commander Krim was running towards Jules. So then you're wondering where Jules is. You look around, and then you see Jules laying there. You kind of see his hand reached out when he was reaching to Edwin and then fall flat. And then he looks like he's perhaps dying unconscious.
Okay, so for my final turn then, I want to slap the reins and direct the horse in the carriage or whatever, even if it's just the horse.
He's not on the carriage.
Directly.
Remember you just untied him from a post?
Yeah, just I want to slap the reins and direct him directly towards the commander.
Okay. Is animal handling a thing?
I think so.
Yeah, it's an action. I was just looking at it.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
Command an animal, maybe?
Yep.
Yeah. So roll that check.
Okay.
It's a nature check. If you did.
Nat 20, dude.
Let's
Seriously?
go.
There you go.
We're getting the rolls when we
For
need them, at
absolutely
least.
no reason at all, you do the weird Legolas thing where he like gets on the horse and where he like does that weird foot. No, I'm just joking. Yeah, you untie him, you give the horse a pet, and it completely calms down. Do you say anything to this horse?
I'll say as I get on, I'll be like, all right there, Mr. Horsey, I just need you to take out this guy, Commander Krim, and I'll slap the reins and just aim like right at him.
All right, that's awesome.
What does the horse say? Does the horse want to say anything?
The horse lifts up on its back legs and does the like whinny and paws or hooves at the air and then slams the hooves down and lets out a big exhale and then just starts galloping towards Commander Krim.
Awesome.
And then we'll cut it over to the goon that was on the roof, but he jumped off, and Dax, you actually catch him off in the distance, just sprinting away. Complete. There, he's like, I'm not going to be the one to get hit by this giant bolt. He's just running off in the distance. And that will take us to...
Now Dax has a rival, too.
Yeah, this will take us to the goon. So there was a goon that ran up to Waltz again after he took out that guy with the shield that Commander Krim sent away. But Waltz got on the horse and rode off. So now he is going to pull out a throwing axe and try and throw it at the back of Waltz. Ooh, and that actually hits. He will do 5 damage.
Got it.
So he throws it and it sticks into your back. Doesn't go too deep, and he will then start running towards Ryu. And he calls out to Krim. He goes,
Commander, look out!
And I will cut over to Ryu. The goon in front of Ryu, who you blasted back with the aura. So he lowers his crossed arms and lets out a yell and starts charging towards you. And misses. And misses again. So he's just doing these like flustered, panicked, wide swings. Are you dodging him, blocking him? What's Ryu's style?
I think I'm still kind of blasting my aura out a little bit, and I'm using the aura to like push his blade aside as I'm still just like haven't even turned to look at him yet.
Awesome. All right, that brings us to Commander Krim, who whips around, sees a horse running straight at him, and looks very flustered for a moment, and then puts his hands together, and you see this bronze-looking scale on his chest start to glow. And then this ball of electricity start to form in between his hands, and he reaches it back towards his hip and then thrusts it forward, and he's going to throw this electrical ball towards you, Waltz.
Okay.
So then this electrical ball is flying towards you. It's carving a trail through the ground as it's flying towards you. And with your nat 20 on the horse, you slap the reins, and the horse jumps over the electrical ball and lands on the ground, keeps going, hits just this random shed and explodes with electrical energy. You know that this absolutely would have obliterated you if you didn't dodge it. And then he goes, "Oh, crap." And that'll cut us to Dax.
Okay.
And the ground is trembling beneath you. Blocks are falling off this tower. It's even starting to wane back and forth. But you also know you're the only one with a weapon that could perhaps deal damage to this Drake.
Yeah, I'm just really focused on the task at hand. I will, as best I can, anticipate the swaying of the building. I imagine there's some sort of rhythm to it. And I'll wait for the Drake to bank, and as it does, line up a shot and go for it again.
Let her rip. Yeah, the Drake is starting to dive bomb towards Ryu and Walt's area, more in the center of the town.
That is an 18 to hit.
That hits.
Yeah.
There's another crossbow one?
Yeah.
Yes.
Heck yeah.
And that is
Dude,
20
he is the
damage.
best shot.
Heck
20 damage?
Yes, dude.
Correct.
Dude, Dax, you're going to save us.
This thing has 500 hit points.
Dax, you fire this arrow. The Drake was starting to pull up and reveal its claws to try and grab onto Ryu. So you fired into its first shoulder originally, and you fire the second shot into its second shoulder, and it pierces straight through where its wing connects and just completely rips the ligament, and the wing falls flat, and its other shoulder is clearly damaged as well. And then it hits into the ground and slides and lets out this huge shriek and kind of panics and flops around and then stands back up on its legs, and blood is pouring everywhere, and you realize you absolutely removed its ability to fly.
Way to go.
And then more chunks fall off this tower, shaking beneath you. What do you do?
I will just bolt for I will try to make it down the building. Yeah, I'll just scamper down the ladder and then down the stairs as fast as I can, I suppose.
So you slide down the ladder, land at the base. This is going to be the end of your turn. The whole tower is waning and crumbling, and blocks are starting to fall around you. And a whole, like, half side of the wall just completely falls out where you're at, and you realize this tower has, like, mere moments before it absolutely just crumbles with you inside of it. And, we're going to move on to somebody else's now. Ryu, it is your turn. Now there's a Drake near you, and there's a goon.
Yeah, so all these things are within my 30-foot sensing radius.
Yes.
And is Commander Krim in there as well?
No, he is just beyond your radius.
Got it.
You did sense this, like, magical ball of electricity fly by you, though.
Ooh. My hair stands on end a little bit. I'm going to attempt to finish off this goon with this plain old melee strike here.
Okay.
13 plus 6, I believe, so it should be 19. Yep.
That hits.
Roll up my d12 here.
Yeah.
4, 5 plus 3, 8 damage.
All right. So, yeah, he is doing those wild swings at you, panicked, freaking out. You feel the Drake land by you. It's just a ton of energy. And spinning around to face the Drake, you just do, like, this backward stab behind you. Almost like, I got to finish this guy off, get him right in the stomach,
Nice.
pull it out. You know you killed him.
Perfect. So as I turn to then sense that Drake near me. I'm going to prepare to finish this off as quickly as possible. I'm going to cast my magic weapon again. So I'm fully blasting out my aura right now, hair flying around everywhere, this ethereal whitish glow around my body, and then you can see it start to make its way around my sword as well. And end my turn with another power-up episode.
Nice.
All right. That brings us to Jules. Jules, you start to blink and you're seeing a fuzzy figure around you, and you blink a few more times and then see Toriel over you with a very serious face, and she's got like a bandage in her mouth, and she's rips it away, and you see her tying it around you. And she says, come on, don't be dying on me now. Let's go. And she's kind of slapping you on the cheek, and you're awake with 12 hit points.
Hey,
Nice, Toriel.
Ooh.
I'm back, baby.
Battle
Clutch,
medic.
Toriel.
So yeah, I'll open my eyes. What did I miss? Toriel.
Yes, there's a Drake on the ground now, and
Right, well, and I'll kind of start to stand up. I'm sure she'll kind of help me, and I'll dust myself off. Best get to it. Edwin, young Edwin is over there. Should probably get him out of here as soon as you can.
yes. Look, I'm sorry, this is the best I can do for now, but you're a pirate, right? You should be just fine. Yes.
I'll be just
All
fine.
right.
Thank you.
Well, if you don't mind, I'm gonna get Edwin out of here, and before this Drake hurls another molt of acid. And she starts sprinting towards Edwin. He's kind of rubbing his elbow where he got thrown on the ground, and she picks him up, and they start running behind another building to safety.
Cool. I'll take out my ocarina, and I will cast Inspire Courage for my companions within 60 feet. I'm hoping both of them are.
Yes, they are.
Take my ocarina out and start playing a triumphant tune. And cast Inspire Courage.
Yeah, so all of you kind of, your hair stands up. You thought Jules was down, and you hear the familiar sound of his ocarina and look back, and he's all bloodied playing his ocarina. And you can tell your boy, he's back for more.
I'm back. So that was one action.
Can you remind me what Inspire Courage does again?
+1 to attack rolls, damage rolls, and saves against fear effects.
Okay.
So there's that. And then I will use my last action to, I suppose, pick up my trident, and I'll start walking towards the battle.
Awesome. Yeah, so you pick up your trident and kind of dust it off and start jogging back into the battle. And that'll take us to the Drake. That's just blood is flying everywhere. It's clearly frantic and in a frenzy, and it's going to whip its tail at Ryu and miss. So it whips its tail, you like jump over its tail, and then it kind of does a little saunter up and lifts up one of its claws, and it's going to just try and stomp you.
Ah.
And that does hit
Ugh.
for 12 damage.
Jeez. Well, your boy is down.
Oh, no.
So you basically like backflip over this tail and land, and then just see a huge claw come up and then crush you into the ground, and then it steps off of you and whips back around a different way.
Question, does that mean my magic weapon is gone?
Probably. I would imagine so.
No,
My aura!
my aura.
And that'll take us to Waltz, who is galloping, just leapt over an electricity ball and is galloping towards Commander Krim.
As I'm like slapping the reins, I'm going to direct him towards Commander Krim. I'm going to kind of like push back and jump off in the direction of Ryu. And so then I'll use my all my movement speed to get to Ryu as well, if I can do that.
Yeah, you can. So I picture you doing like, you put your hands on the rear of the horse and like lift your legs off of him and then just push off and let the horse keep going and then land and then whip around, and you see Ryu, and you have enough movement speed to make it all the way to him.
Okay, so jumping off, move to him. Do I still have room
Yep,
for
you
one
still
more
have an
action?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Awesome. So then I want to just like kneel by Ryu and be like, Ryu, come on, we gotta get back in the fight here. And I'm just gonna put my hand on
There's
his
just
chest.
a Drake behind you stomping and flailing around. And you're like, come on, Ryu. Yeah.
And I'll use all of my lay on hands on him for 6 health points if I can.
Yeah, you can
I know
absolutely.
like Waltz is still kind of like new to using that, so maybe He's kind of slowly gotten the feel of like how to channel it. I don't know if you want me to roll for that or if I'm good.
I mean, no, I'd say you're good. I feel like this is almost teaching you that to just trust in the ability because you're in this chaotic moment. You're not even thinking about it and you just do it. And you realize that you don't need to overthink it. And you heal him for all 6 hit points. So a subtle glow resonates from your hand and you see his eyes open and some of his cuts heal up.
Ugh, Waltz, is that you?
Yeah, it's me, buddy. You took quite a little stomping. It's a pretty heavy animal that's above you. It's a baby dragon.
Just roars and stomps all around you.
That's the one I was talking about. Yeah.
Yes, I had planned to kill that, but it did not go as planned.
Yeah, rarely does against those things, I'll tell you.
I thank you for your assistance.
Okay, so the goon that you were riding away from is still like running up towards you, and as you're just having this conversation with Ryu, he comes up with the sword behind you and he's gonna swing it. Miss. Second swing, miss. So you're like, oh wait, hold on there a second, Ryu. And you just turn around, raise up the shield, and block both sword strikes. And that'll take us to Commander Krim. So I don't really know. Yeah, so I guess your horse was in the same place as you as initiative. So you wanted the horse to attack him, I'm guessing, right?
Essentially, yeah, kind of like just charging him at him.
So the horse closes the distance and it's going to do 2 hoof attacks and land both of them.
Nice. What a good horse.
This is a good horse. It does a D6. I was expecting a D4.
Jeez. Strong horse.
It literally does more damage than I do with a short bow.
That's awesome.
I mean, a horse is a big beast.
Yeah, so the horse runs up, lifts its front hooves up, and then smacks them down on Commander Krim, who tries to duck out of the way, and the first one hits him, and then the second one hits him and sends him stumbling backwards. You can tell it did a lot of bludgeoning damage to his chest. And that'll take us to Dax. Your turn starts with an apple thumping you in the forehead, and you hear,
Down here, my boy! Dax! Over here!
Digsby, so good to see you.
Dax, look! I have a wheelbarrow, and I filled it with hay. You can jump! I'll get you.
Okay, don't move. And then I'll leap. Assassin's Creed this thing.
I'm so scared to have you do this.
I know.
Roll me
That's
an
all right.
acrobatics check.
Oh, no. Well, maybe. A 12.
You told Digsby not to move, but see his reflex? As you're about to jump, the tower sways and kind of makes you slip, but you try and salvage the jump. And then you see him run a little bit with the wheelbarrow, and you plop into his wheelbarrow. And then the tower starts to crumble behind you, and it's falling directly on top of you guys. And he goes, "We gotta go!" And he starts sprinting with the wheelbarrow as the tower's coming towards him.
Go, 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 go.
And we'll cut to Ryu.
I'm going to recharge. Am I within striking distance of the Drake?
Yeah.
right,
Well, you'd have to
then I
like run a little bit. Like you'd have to use a movement, but yeah.
Then I'll use another action to move towards him, and we're going to strike him.
All right.
16.
That hits.
Yes. Damage time. Ooh, baby. Max damage, which makes it 12 plus 3, so 15.
Enough of this.
So you pull out your sword, recharge it. You have blood all over your face. You run up the back of its tail, like while it's on the ground, freaking out, and then jump off its back and start to come down behind it and cut its head completely off of its body. Its head flies away, blood spouts out of its neck. Its like wings twitch. It lets out this shriek as it gets decapitated, and it curls over, plumps on the ground. Dirt flies up in the air.
And then I walk away as the dirt flies up behind me, as cool action
Nice.
movie guys do.
Yes.
The remaining goons, like you see them all look absolutely shocked by this, like
They killed Raygorn.
and they're all looking around, and Commander Krim's like, "No, you fool, stay and fight!" And they're all just like looking around at each other, and they drop their weapons, and they just look like they're about to run away.
Not being aware of anything outside of my 30-foot radius, had no idea Dax had been shooting it with crossbows this whole time, and I'm just thinking about how weak it was and how strong I must be.
That checks out.
That's awesome.
That takes us to Jules.
How far away am I from Krim?
Yeah, you're 20. You're like 10 feet from Krim.
Okay, I want to throw my trident at him.
Do it.
That is a 18.
That hits.
So I'll throw it first, and then I suppose I can roll damage first. 7.
So yeah, Commander Krim was like, "No, you fool, stay and fight!" And you all kind of glance over at him, and then you just see 3 prongs stab out of the front of his chest, and his eyes grow wide, and he's kind of stumbling, like, what? What do you do,
Nice.
Jules?
I'll walk up to him. I'll grab the trident and put one foot on his back. You spongy, onion-eyed miscreant. If you're going to kill someone, make sure they're dead, and I'll yank it out.
Oh,
Nice.
dude.
Let's go.
Blood shoots out of his back, and he drops to his knees, and his eyes are bulging out of his face in absolute bewilderment. And he looks as though he's about to curse you, and then coughs up blood and falls over dead.
Yes.
Nice one.
Oh yeah.
And that'll bring us to Waltz, and there's just one goon left who had dropped his sword and is trembling.
I'll look to him, and that hatchet that was thrown into me earlier, I'll just kind of look over to him and like pull the hatchet out and just kind of like grab my side and look at him with the bloody hatchet and just kind of nod to him and not do anything else with my turn. And I just want to see what he does.
He's backing away, does a 180, and just starts sprinting.
Say, all right, yeah, we'll see you later.
And then you guys all turn your head around as you see this building falling over. You see Digsby running with Dax inside the wheelbarrow. The tower hits the ground. Smoke fills the air. Dax, you feel the wheelbarrow tilt forward as you jump out, and you roll and slide along the ground and realize you escaped the fall of the tower.
Whew. My God, Digsby. Thanks for showing up when you did. We barely made it out of there.
No response.
Okay.
How dare you, Zach? You cannot.
I turn around. Digsby? Oh no. Digsby? Oh no. And I will head into the rubble, and I'm starting to dig.
Dig
All
for
right, so the rest
Digsby.
of you maybe see Dax digging through rubble, yelling
I'll hear
Digsby's
him
name.
calling out and getting no response and head over to the voice.
Yeah, I'll rush over there as well.
Waltz, do you rush over?
Yeah.
Digsby, I think he's in here. Help! And I'm
Ryu will start
throwing rocks.
feeling around as well, throwing rocks. Digsby.
Yeah, Waltz will use all his strength, just like shoveling anything off that he can, just, left and right.
Probably using my trident to kind of use his leverage to heave bigger pieces and stuff, trying to
Yeah.
find our
you
boy.
throw all the rubble aside. You guys work together. You move a block and just see a hand sticking out of the rubble.
He's here. He's here, guys.
I'll grab that hand and I'll just like start like kind of trying to like deadlift him out of like any rubble that's holding him down.
Can I sense that it is indeed Digsby? Am I able to do that?
You sense nothing.
Do I make any progress like pulling him out or anything?
Yeah, you pull him out.
I'll immediately I used all my lay on hands. I can't do anything. I'll desperately put my hands on him though, because I guess I still don't know my own capacity. So I'll try and like heal him with anything that I can.
Jules, go get Toriel.
On it. And I'll turn and run, and I'll start screaming her name.
I can't sense his aura.
Whilst you're attempting to heal him, you're getting extremely frustrated. You feel absolutely nothing churning within you.
Come on, Waltz. Don't you have something for this?
Can I triage him? Notice where any like bleeding may be coming from? Because I know I do have. Dax has bandages.
I have these bandages. Let me see what I can do, I guess.
Yeah, you open the pouch and you're just pulling bandages out and you're looking at him. Just roll a medicine check.
22.
Okay. So you're trying to clear your mind. You pull out the bandages, you're triaging him, and you check his pulse. You see a lot of cuts on the outside, but then you start to see a lot of bruising internally, and you feel his pulse, and he has no pulse. And Jules returns with Toriel, and she crouches down next to you, studies your face. What does she see?
She sees, surprisingly, some pretty... I mean, obviously, I look devastated. I think she sees some tears welling up because where Dax is from, people don't help each other. Everybody's pretty self-reliant. So he's not used to people going out of their way to save others. So he can't believe that he did that, for one, and then that it ultimately resulted in him getting hurt. So yeah, Toriel sees a very deeply saddened Dax.
She puts her fingers on his pulse as well and pulls them away and looks at all of you and just gives a shake of her head with her eyes looking down. And that is where we'll end our session.
You
I don't
jerk.
even know what to say.
I hate you.
How
Bye.
dare you?
You're a real Dak. I would never do anything like that in any campaign I
Hey,
would
shut
ever
up.
run.
What's
Shut
wrong
up,
with
you guys
Shut
can
up.
get mad at me in the
Say it after
downtime.
show.
Shut up. All right. Hey, sorry about that. That was a downer, but we want to be a little uplifting here and encourage you to check us out on Reddit, Patreon, and Instagram, Mortals and Portals. If you're a patron, you can hear us talk about that episode where they all get mad at me for, putting Digsby in harm's way and so on.
It's going to be our explicit
yeah.
episode.
And yeah, I just want to thank my crew, as always. Thank you, Joel and Taryn, for editing. Joel, I hope
I
you don't
think you
cry
mean
when you're cutting the audio
Digsby's
here.
crew.
Digsby's
Yeah.
Taryn definitely had some sad violin music for that. And I want to thank Adam for his artwork. He's just the man, just so good. I do stick figures and he does like beautiful works of art. And I want to thank Ryan for his awesome music and just blowing our minds with sick theme songs and character themes and all that stuff. And we want to thank you, the listener, for, hey, this is episode 6, so you must kind of like us, and we really appreciate that, and we love you. So thank you.
We do.
And we love Digsby. Well, see you around, mortals.